Well, awesome. Well, welcome. So we have Tate Wu here. Um, welcome. I'm so excited to speak with you because I was looking at some of the games that you have created so far, and it's funny because I don't picture myself as a game board person, really. I'm very new
Mhm.
to this world, and I saw you have your cat Sudoku game, and I
Uh-huh.
want you to tell me a little bit more about that in a minute. But I was just so excited.
Okay.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool too. I love Sudoku, and so and I love cats, so I was really excited to see that. But let
Okay.
me let me ask you introduce yourself first, and then we can talk about.
Okay. Hi, my name is Tatiana Wu. I was born in Taiwan and I grew up in LA. And I just really fond of playing games and also designing games. And I've been doing this for more than 10 years. And, just trying to enjoy, the process and having fun and hopefully, break even. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long, you said about 10 years. So what made you really want to start to do games? Like, was it something you've been thinking about for a long time or since you were a kid? Or please, can you say more about that?
Oh yeah. So I just feel I'm kind of more of a design person. I always like to create, and my first game I designed probably back in elementary school. So for a period of time I always like to make up some games and have my friend play it with me. And then after that, I think years after college, I made a game, probably my kind of my first game, but it wasn't. It was very bad. It was horrible. And many years after that, I actually took a class. I think it's about 2004, maybe 2003. That's
Hmm.
a long time ago, like 20 years ago. Yeah, with that's what I'm saying. Meyer, uh, let's say I'm sorry. Okay, and then yeah,
That's
so
okay.
yeah, so um, it's a class about the industry and the game design, just the concept of it. And I made me realize there is an industry. It's just not very big at the time. But it's great to understand the market and the industry and when you design games because you will know or give you a better focus and the direction when you design games if you want to publish it later on. So that was a pretty good step for me. And then more years after that, it's just more and more I just take chance to uh, to self publish time to time, and then it's a lot of learning experience. And a lot of failures, and so I'm still learning too. So far I probably published more than 20 games,
20.
and yeah, it's just every design, every publishing it's a new whole new experience. I always learn something. It's fun too. I think it's kind of it's like my creative outlet, and also uh, it's kind of satisfying me as a designer where I can just put my energy to this fun, hobby.
Yeah, I love this. You said you've made over 20 games and each one you've had a new experience. So, what do you what do you find is the easiest part for you is and what's the most challenging part for you? Cuz I was looking at some of your things and with some of your games and I can only imagine like the artwork would be really hard or even designing the game or coming up with new ideas or what do you find is simple and what do you find is challenging for you?
So right now, the hardest part will be marketing,
Marketing.
and
Yeah.
yeah, in the earlier stage, it takes longer to bring a concept into a prototype. But now,
Mm.
after years, with a lot of design experience, it's a lot easier. You can conceptualize your concept and formulate, and then see if this will actually work before you put it into prototype. Before, I have to put it into prototype to realize this is not going to work. So it got a little bit easier in that part of the development. And now it's a lot more about publishing and marketing. Yeah, it's still that is always the hardest part. I'm
Yeah.
that it's I'm trying to it's just again it's gonna take time for me to improve. Hopefully I'll do better in the future.
So the hardest part's of marketing. So then what do you find is the easiest part for you?
The easiest part is probably bring concept into prototype. It's knowing that what will work and what will not work, and what uh, thing or mechanic will work better with this idea and what needs to be added. And
Yeah.
also just bring concept into prototype and into packaging marketable product. So if, if this concept will work with the family, or will it be okay for solo to pair, and what kind of segment market will be good for this. So it's about more of the early part of the development. That's gone much easier.
That sounds so interesting. It sounds not only the creativity aspect, but the strategy of designing any product, let alone a game, right? But any product, and how can I make this a marketable item? How can I make this such that customers, clients, people would enjoy?
Yeah, I think that's very important because I always, if people ask me, I will tell them that, when you design a game or any product, you have to think about who's using it. It's not just about your brand idea. It's
Yeah.
actually someone has to use it, and then they have to accept your design, your concept, and so it has to be a marketable product that can be actually used or played, and people will actually have fun, right, for games.
Wow. So have you how I'm sure you've had ideas that you thought were great and then people didn't like it as much. So how do you handle rejection in different ways, or thinking something's going really well and then it really doesn't? How do you have any tips, or how have you handled that?
So now, when I have a new idea, when I'm ready for a playtest, I sometimes I don't finish the whole game. I do a what I call the structural playtest, just to see if this concept will play out and people can enjoy, or they can find this puzzle fun to spend like 20 minutes or 30 minutes into it. And so just
Mhm.
without make a lot of investment of the design or development, just do a more concept play test. And so if that works, I'll continue to develop.
So fascinating. And so it sounds like you don't take things too personally if they don't work out too well.
Yeah, I mean I have a lot of folders, of ideas, and yeah, it's like every year I have like more than 20 folders of different concepts. That's every year. So I have things that I forgot what is it already. When I open it and say, what is this? Yeah. So it's just yeah. It's and and now I just try not to try not to instead of spending time to having so much concept, I'm trying to finish and publish it. And so it's more focused on just pull on my when sometimes you just have ideas, just have thoughts. I try to just hold on to it, and then because I know I have a lot more I need to in the pipeline. I need to get it out, or at least get it play test it.
Right.
And so yeah, but it's a fun. It's really very enjoyable hobby to do.
Yeah. So, how do you find inspiration? Because 20 games and every year you make new folders of ideas. Yeah, where do you find your inspiration?
Sometimes when I like to watch, I stream, TV shows or movies, and I go, watch movies. And so I get inspirations when I go out.
Hmm.
And sometimes when I talk to people, or when I go out and see something, it's, oh, that's kind of interesting. It could be a game or something that will be a thing that people might like, or this and that combined together and so forth. And so just once you have that going, like for a long duration of your life, you just have the a habit of always create and then um, to get ideas and putting things together, and then maybe for later use. But I just write it down, and if it gets if I spend more time, I'll make a folder, put some notes in it, and if I don't have time, I'll just leave it. But it's just I will say probably just things around me, probably just like like life is inspiring. I guess it's just the things you see, people you talk to, places you go to, and anything can be inspiration.
Anything can spark inspiration.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Well, I really want to hear what you have coming up right now. You just are about to end a Kickstarter, so I just want to leave it up to you for you to talk about what you're working on.
Okay, so Aqua's ending is a two-player game, and then the next coming up will be Castogu. That was I was published that about 6 years ago, and it was out of print maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
And so I always and people when I go to conventions or sometimes we email people they want to have more, but I don't. And so I'm thinking of doing a reprint, and also because about the versions on paper, I'll have reprint of that version, and that the original has 4 seasons of Kyoto and with cat in it, and so and every season is different level. So spring is level one, summer and fall is level two, winter is level three. So they're all
Okay.
in one package. And so I'm thinking of making like a level up package that is all like the level two puzzle, but it's dry erase. So there will be 6 boards. Front and back will be 12 different cats, different puzzles. So basically, every time you play, you will it's like a different puzzle. So it's going to experience different games every time you play. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, and for the Kickstarter, might have a like a, Kickstarter exclusive board that comes with. So it'll be the seventh board. You only get that if you back the copy from the Kickstarter.
I love that. Um, the cat Sudoku is just the illustrations were so cute, and we'll post the link in the bottom of the YouTube video so people can check it out, obviously. But I love the illustrations. I got so excited when I saw it. I love cats. I love Sudoku, like I said in the beginning, and I just got so excited.
Awesome.
So the fact that you're doubling and making new levels for it, I think that's brilliant and so
Yeah,
fun.
thank you. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I mean it's I think it's a different take of Stogu, and then also uh, it 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 has little interactions between players
Yeah.
and little decisions that you can make, and it's not in a way it's not as hard as the original Stogu because
Oh,
you have to
really?
figure out that 9 numbers.
Uh-huh.
So but this is has a little more flexible because you roll dice, and every time you can choose a number to be wild. So you have more room to fill out the puzzle. So yeah, that's Castle.
Can you say a little bit more about how it is different? Because
Okay.
Sudoku is very popular and people know it for the most part. It's everywhere. You can find it in Dollar Tree booklets and stuff, 99
Yeah.
cent store. So how is cat Sudoku different and what
Okay.
makes it fun?
All right. Okay. So, in original Slow board, uh, we you have a puzzle with number on it. So that puzzle you can only play it one time, and the answer is always the same.
Yes.
So you have to go to a different page to play a different puzzle. Now for that part in Castle, you have one puzzle, but the answer there's hundreds and thousands of different combinations just for one sheet because I made it so every time you have a starting number and you can randomize the starting number so you see the same puzzle and we'll have like thousands of different combinations of solutions to fill the game. And that's yeah. So that the puzzle itself, the form itself is different, and also on every turn you will roll 4 dice, and you choose one of the numbers to be wild. So if you roll 1, 1, and 2, 2, you can choose 1 or 2 to be wild. So if you choose 2 to be wild, you fill 1, 1, and 2 any number you like. So it's multi. You can play with 1 to 6 player.
That's so interesting because, yeah, Sudoku is generally a one-person game and it's the only way to complete it. There's only one way to complete it. So that's so interesting that there's so many more dynamics and you're able to play with other people too. Because personally, I don't like playing Sudoku. I'll try to share with other people, and how they do it makes me mad, Don't put numbers in that square yet, and I get upset about it. Oh, so I'm excited. I saw it and I'm so excited to play it. And like I said, I love the colors, the animation, the illustrations on it is just really beautiful and
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah, the artist is her name is Kiami, and she's excellent. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, and you can find her at Kiami.net.
Yami.net.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We'll post that as well. And then I know you have another project coming out that,
Yeah, it's possibly after Castle will be Braille Fork. So
yeah,
I kickstarted Fork. It's a ticketing game last year, and then during that Kickstarter, I was hoping that if we reach a level, we will have the Braille version, but we didn't get to that funding. So I think that is good because now I have more time to research and make a better Braille version. Yeah, and so I have been always want to make a Braille version. So I've been doing research
yeah.
and see what's available. And back in like before COVID, I think there's only Uno. Uno has a Braille version, and that's pretty much it. I think there are a few more games have Braille version now, and so yeah, so I think it's great because it's you have family sometimes they have it's either they cannot see or it's more difficult. They have some issues. Colors. It's difficult to see. So this and also not every game. I don't think every game can be used with Braille. So you have to take a game that's suitable. So I think four is suitable, and it's a game that is with the Braille you can play uh, with family or friends with visually I don't know I forgot the word.
Vis-
Visually
Impaired.
impaired. Yes, yeah, that's the word. Yeah, yeah. So you can play with them. So the game, the card's gonna be in plastic, and the tip. So um, so if the cards is made in cardstock, and the pit will it's punch out, and after a while it will go away. So Braille fork will be made with a plastic card.
Plastic
Eh,
cards.
yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
then yeah, I did have my friend Sarah, she helped me with the research because her husband is also visually impaired, and so we got a lot of feedback from them, and so right now and because I'm working with a different printer, so I went through a lot of revisions on the graphics. So it's a good thing that we didn't really release it with the original for Kickstarter. Then I have more time to make sure I do this right, and more time to do research. And and because I have this is there's a lot of challenge. So finally, I think I and there's a lot of revision in the graphic development part. So now I finally submitted the new graphics to the printer. Hopefully, once it's approved, get a prototype, and I'm going to try it out. And in LA, there's like a Braille center, a place where people have um, like a library, and people go there to
Wow.
read. So I'm gonna go there and do some play tests and try out this the prototype I'm going to make and get more feedback. And so by end of the year, I think we probably should get everything um, planned out and test out, and then launch a Kickstarter for L4.
That is so fascinating. I just think that's so great. There's so many communities like people who are visually impaired, right? People who are deaf. There's so many communities that don't have, people don't think about them, to be honest, and they get looked over and stepped over. And like you said, there was only Uno when you looked before COVID
Yeah,
that
yeah.
had Braille and maybe a couple other games now, but it's just I thought it was so interesting too that you decided to do that. So do you know someone personally and that's what inspired you wanting to make a braille version of Fork?
Well, I my cousin, he wasn't born visually impaired, but I think what happened was he had a fever when he was younger, and then I think it was delayed on the treatment, and so after that he can see, and
Mhm.
so that's one of the thing I think about,
Yeah.
and kind of remind me, and then it's just like um, if the game can be played by anybody, like if we can do this, and it would be great because we can. It doesn't matter, if even if you're visually impaired, you can still play with us because
Yeah.
we have this braille version, right? And then
Yeah.
you can enjoy something fun Friday night,
Yeah. Game night, you can play
game night.
too. All
Yeah, yeah,
inclusive.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's really cool and best of luck with the research and the funding and all that's going to go forward to help move
thank you.
that forward, that project forward. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, you just it's going to be pretty easy because it just stops, right? But it's a little bit more complicated than that,
Yeah.
and the placement, and then so I mean, again, it's a learning experience. So I'm still learning, and then we're not launching right away. We're getting prototype made. We're gonna take it to the actual people who we're going to play. We're gonna play with them many times. Do more research. Make sure we get this right, and we'll try again on Kickstarter later this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Where can people look you up?
I have a website. It's sunrisetornadoes.com. You can find most of my games there. The one that I have published, and some of them are coming up, and it has my email on social media. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Okay, well, check him out on Sunrise Tornado. And again, we'll post all the links below. But it's been a real pleasure speaking with you and learning from you and picking your brain on all the fascinating projects you have going on. Thank you so much, Tate, for your time.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yes, awesome. Thanks.